Hola, senors and senoritas. How are we? Welcome along. It is the middle of the week. It is Wednesday, the 9th of July. I still disagree with the fact that it's the middle of the week. I know I had this rant a few months ago, but it's come back around from something over the last couple of weeks. But it's the middle of the JDQ week. We'll leave it at that. Tomorrow is very much the middle of the week. 7 days, so the fourth day has to be the middle. I'm not going to get into that debate again, but it is Wednesday the 9th of July, the middle of the JDQ week, so thank you as always for joining me. Another 5 questions ready for you to get stuck into today, so hopefully you've got your brains ready to go. A few comments. I meant to say this sort of during this week, but there's a few comments. There was some very tricky quizzes last week, I believe. A few of you who normally score sort of your 4s and your 5s were even struggling to get to 2, which I don't do it deliberately. I always try, as people have commented very, very nicely, to have a wide mix of questions for you. And I think I suppose it just falls. Sometimes it will just fall in the right way for you. But yeah, so there's always a broad question. And I always like to find questions that always do stumble people. And I've not used it here, and I will try to use it on Radio Lancashire. But I'll give you the example. So the question that I was going to ask, and it actually came from Colin, fellow quizmaster down at the White Ridges Social Club, and it came up on our Patreon quiz that how many squares are there on the Monopoly board, and I straight away went, well, there's 4. And everyone, it's the debate around how many squares there are. Well, there are actually only 4 playing squares on a Monopoly board, because if you look at them, the other squares are rectangle. It's only the corners that are square. But the problem with those kind of questions when you're recording stuff is I tend to then forget what I've written and where and what I've recorded. So you would then end up in these debates that pop up on social media a few days later going, so yeah, I then forget what the question's about, and people often just put the answer. They don't go into full context, which is great. I love the content and I love the fact that people are getting involved, but I do have a forgetful memory. But none of that today. All straightforward questions. Hopefully you'll know some of these. So let's get into them. It's Wednesday the 9th of July, and here then is your first question. Number 1, name the song from these lyrics. Every night in my dreams I see you and I feel you. That is how I know you go on. Trying desperately not to doing that in the tune. Name the song from this. Every night in my dreams I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you go on. When you don't say it in the tune, it sounds incredibly creepy. I'll be honest. Number 2, before creating supercars, what did Ferruccio Lamborghini's company build? Was it trucks, tractors, or ships? So before creating supercars, what did Ferruccio Lamborghini's companies build? Was it trucks, tractors, or ships? Number 3, Zeebrugge is a port town in which European country? It's a very vital port town as well, very busy. But Zeebrugge is a port town in which European country? Number 4, according to the nursery rhyme, who killed Cock Robin? So according to the nursery rhyme, who killed Cock Robin? And your final question then today, number 5. Who wrote the best-selling novel, The Da Vinci Code? So who wrote the best-selling novel, The Da Vinci Code? There you go. That's your 5 then for today. How do you think you got on today? Well, we'll find out very shortly together. You've got a countdown from 5 to 0 to make sure you've got your answers ready. Dave will be that person who will count us down from 5 to 0. He never misses a number. Here he is.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Thanks, Dave. That's just given me a really evil idea for April Fool's next year. I know I did an April Fool's joke and it fell flat, but I might do that next year if I remember. Well, I probably won't, but I can go in and cut Dave's numbers out and put them in the wrong order. And I've actually got him all the way up to, I think it's 30. So I might get Dave, I might chop it up and have, like, instead of 5, 4, 3, I might go 30, 19, 23. Anyway, that's way off. Right, let's get your answers then for your... I'm all over the place today. Let's get your answers then for today, Wednesday, the 9th of July. See how you did with these. Number 1, name the song. Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you. That is how I know you go on. It is Celine Dion with My Heart Will Go On. Question number 2. Before creating supercars, what did Ferruccio, Lamborghini's companies, build? It was tractors. If you've ever watched Clarkson's Farm, you'll know that because of his Lamborghini tractor. But yeah, they were building tractors before they built supercars. Number 3, Zeebrugge is a port town in which European country? It is Belgium. Number 4, according to the nursery rhyme, who killed Cock Robin? It was the sparrow. And finally, number 5, who wrote the best-selling novel, The Da Vinci Code? It was Dan Brown. There you go. That is all of your questions then for today, the 9th of July. Your tiebreaker question, if you need this to separate, if you're playing competitively, is this: how many novels has the author Dan Brown released? So how many novels has the author Dan Brown released? As always, nearest to it gets the point. As always, if you're adding your score to Quiz Hub, it's the difference between your answer and the correct one. Get a feeling this might be some low numbers here today, but in terms of your difference, but we'll see. We shall see. While you're looking at that, I'm just checking over tomorrow's. Ooh, yes. Right, okay, the answer is 9. Yep, he has written nine novels. You've got obviously the Da Vinci Code kind of Robert Langdon series of books. Then you've got 2 great books in Digital Fortress and Deception Point, and then there's a couple of others as well. He's back with a new novel this year as well, but anyway. Right, that is it then for Wednesday the 9th of July. Thank you as always for joining me. I am back tomorrow then, as well as Dave. I don't know why that went weird there, but I'm back tomorrow with another 5 questions for you. So as always, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for playing as always. I'll see you tomorrow. So from me and from Dave, we'll see you soon. As always, take care and stay safe.